Good evening. Ryan, let's make history, buddy. So I'm a boy from Lavender Hill who grew up to become a man, a father, and a husband. And I believe that none of us came into the world being fully formed. We would know how to speak, talk, walk, or even behave as humans unless we have learned it from other human beings. So I believe that Ubuntu is a principle in which all humans should live by. Many say that it's an African thing, but for me, it's a humanity thing. It's much more than an African thing, because many success stories is narrated with the phrase that it's because of them that I am here today. And I am because other people are. So, I was born 1999, everything was just fine. Lost my father when I was 5, everything out of line. I was dead for a rhyme. And at this point, you should be aware that my story started when I was 5. So the memory of my 5th birthday should be of me blowing out candles, eating cake. Just the thought of that makes me want to have a slice right now. However, in my case, I have the memory of my dad's coffin being lowered down into the ground. I won't ever see my father again is what came to mind at that time. So being a 5-year-old boy raised by a single mother had its moments. Ups and downs, highs and lows. There were nights where there was abundance of food and nights where there was none. At times we would be fortunate enough if there were even porridge to eat. So the idea of growing up without a father had our family at its wit's end. My mother, however, had to adapt to a new kind of lifestyle. From being a housewife, she had now to become a breadwinner. This was the dawning of a new chapter in our lives. One salary with 3 mouths to feed, and later it became 4 as my sister was born. It was quite challenging for my mother, as a huge portion of that salary had to go towards transport to and from work. So it became difficult for her to see to the needs of all our children. But as I grew older, I saw how stressed out my mom was at times. And that led to much bigger problems in our family. My mother became so distant to us as a children because at this stage, she was relying on alcohol as a temporary relief. So alcohol was the cause of a broken relationship between mother and the kids. As my mother grew distant, I had to grow closer to my siblings. I took over the responsibility of bathing them, looking after them, and getting them ready for school. Because there was nights where my mom wouldn't come home. So I became my brother's keeper. So my childhood memories are filled with me looking after my siblings and doing odd jobs to make money to ensure that we had bread to eat. I even started my own yard cleaning business at the age of 12. So instead of being out with friends, I was cleaning yards. And sometimes I would like to think that I came up with the idea and innovations behind grocery delivery services. Because there was a time in my childhood where I would go to the elderly residents and be like, if you ever needed someone to go for the shops, I'm available for just a mere 2 rand. But I was faced with many challenges and trials in my life. And at the point I wish that it will all just disappear. But with all these challenges, I had people that always supported me. And I am standing here because of my colleagues, and they motivated me because they saw potential in me. Other people helped me to find me. I am because other people are. You remember that I was part of my opening statement. Some would say that my faith played a major role in me overcoming my trials. But if it weren't for other people, I wouldn't have had the confidence I have today. I am grateful for everyone who played a role in my upbringing. But despite the craving of having a present father, I had various male role models who were there for me, and that saved me from joining a gang, being enslaved to drugs, or any form of substance abuse. Their presence in my life made me feel that I was accountable to them, and I was so mindful going against the wise counsel I received. Because they were once in gangs, they went to prison, they were enslaved to drugs, and I saw that that's not for me. But as a young man, I thought of joining a gang to have the limp and look cool. But because of the male role models, I knew that I need to choose a different path. I was surrounded with a huge crowd of positivity, and that encouraged me to become a better person. That made me want to do better and not follow the examples that is in our community. Gangsterism, drugs were all in front of me, but I chose otherwise because of the support I had. Over the years, I got involved in various community projects and initiatives, and that sparked my passion for community development. And today I believe that despite our challenges, we have each the power and the ability to overcome it. By helping others, you are helping yourself. I recently discovered it through the work that I do for a non-profit Learning and Reach, which I started volunteering in COVID-19, and I discovered the recipe for success. You got to start small, and it will definitely have big endings. So, I'm a boy from Lavender Hill who was a youth coordinator, a former junior city councillor, a high school head boy in my matric year, former Kiniko F&B manager, and currently project coordinator at Learning and Reach, and the youngest of church leaders in our community. I am all that because of others. In the midst of all the thorns I came across in my journey, I grew up to be a fine young man, if I must say so myself. But I also acknowledge that I might not be where I would like to be, but I'm definitely not where I used to be before. I mean, I am only 24. Thank you.